Everyone, it's 11:30, so we'll go ahead and get started. And welcome to your Monday routine weekly briefing. I'm meteorologist Nick Lucchetti here at the Raleigh office. And this briefing will cover the period Monday, March 13th through this Sunday, March 19th. Before I get going with the more classical slides here, I figure we take a look at the current weather. So I'm going to pull up an animation here. So what we have here, what I'm showing is basically the current satellite imagery with the radar and the temperatures, air temperatures overlaid. And there's a really cool feature that we can actually point out here in the satellite field. You can actually see this area of low pressure that's just spinning off the North Carolina coast. So that low actually developed inland yesterday. And that's what helped create some wintry mix across our area before scooting offshore through this morning. So this low is actually going to ride up to the northeast here and bomb out and produce some really good snowfall up in New England. Here locally, you can see that in the radar field, most of the rain associated with that low has moved offshore. So we should see mostly dry conditions for the rest of the day. But we do have this pesky lingering low-level clouds. Sorry, I'm just seeing Sam's chat here. I'm glad you can see it. It got fixed. Anyways, but you can see we still have these pesky lingering low-level clouds hanging around here, which is keeping temperatures pretty chilly. However, you can see that back across the triad here, we're starting to see some clearing in this cloud field. So we'll continue to see clearing from the northwest to the southeast through today and this afternoon. But we will have also some mid and high level clouds from upstream streaming across the area as well. So we will see some sunny conditions, but not completely sunny conditions. But we should see temps increase a little bit this afternoon into the 50s, but it should be still relatively chilly, but not as chilly as yesterday was. So anyways, that's kind of the current weather. So I'm gonna pop back into the slides here and go through what we can expect for this upcoming week. Weather-wise, and also we do have some hazards we'd like to highlight as well. So I'll just wait a second. I think there's a little bit of a lag, but you should be able to see my first slide here. If not, just send a chat. So anyway, so what's the weather pattern for this week? Like I said, we're gonna have some lingering clouds today with some chilly temps in the mid 50s this afternoon. And we're actually tonight, we're going to get a reinforcing push of some dry and actually considerably cold air that's going to stick around through Thursday. And that's going to be the main catalyst for some of our hazards, which I'll talk about in the next couple slides here. But yeah, that front's going to come through tonight with high pressure settling in, chilly high pressure settling in over the area through the midweek period. And then later in the week, and more so into the early weekends, we'll have another cold front, as you can see in this lower left panel here, being depicted later this week approaching. So on Thursday, we'll see temperatures moderate some, and then by Friday, we'll actually warm back up with some southerly flow ahead of the cold fronts back into above average temperatures. And then as we get into the Friday night into Saturday period, that seems to be the best chance for some light rain to push through. It doesn't look too concerning with any thunderstorms or anything like that, just pretty much light rain with this system as of now. But the best chances again are Friday night into Saturday, and then that should clear east of the area, and we'll see drier conditions and cooler conditions return on Sunday. So that's kind of just the general pattern for this week. But again, I want to highlight some hazards associated with the cold air that we're expecting to start funneling in tonight and hanging around through Thursday on the next couple slides here. So overnight, the midnight crew actually decided to issue a freeze warning for a lot of central North Carolina. We are expecting temperatures tonight into tomorrow morning to plummet down into sub-freezing territory, anywhere from 27 to 32 degrees for the areas that are highlighted in purple. So essentially for those along and west of US 1 and also including up into the northern coastal plain along I-95 corridor there, as you can see on the map here on the left, that's where we have a freeze warning out. And I just want to point out that for the counties that we don't have in the freeze warning, you can see on our temperature forecast from this morning that some of those counties are pretty close to freezing. We are reevaluating that today, and we very well may actually end up having to expand this freeze warning south. So we'll make that decision later today. But again, that's for tonight into Tuesday morning. We have a freeze warning out. So as you all know, it's been anomalously warm. February was very warm, and for that reason, the growing season started a little earlier this year. Sensitive vegetation is definitely going to be vulnerable tonight. And that trend continues into Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. So we also have a freeze watch out for that period. And if you look at the temperature plot here on the right, it actually looks like this air, the temperatures that morning could be even colder than, Wednesday morning could be even colder than tomorrow morning. And it looks like most of the area will likely see sub-freezing temperatures. So we'll likely have to put out a freeze warning as well for that morning as well. And then that trend continues as we get into Thursday morning. Again, you can see that we're already forecasting sub-freezing temperatures. So the bottom line is that over the next 3 nights, most of central North Carolina, if not all of it, will likely see sub-freezing conditions, which will likely be very harmful to crops and other sensitive vegetation. So at this point, our main recommendation is that individuals bring in any potted plants that they can, and for the plants that they are unable to bring in, to try to cover those up, to try to alleviate any potential negative consequences from this anomalously cold air mass that we're expecting the next 3 nights. So that's with the hazards associated with the freeze warning again for tonight, and then the freeze watch for tomorrow night. And obviously, as we go into Thursday morning, we'll likely have to issue some products as well, given the trends in the forecast here. But the other thing, kind of pivoting here a little bit, specifically on Tuesday, looks like we're going to have pretty gusty winds Tuesday afternoon, and that's going to coincide with this really dry air mass that we're expecting. And for that reason, we do have potentially some elevated fire concerns, specifically Tuesday afternoon. So we could see wind gusts we'll likely see, frequent wind gusts of 25 to 35 miles per hour in the afternoon, and our minimum relative humidities are going to drop into the upper 20s. So just wanted to raise awareness about that and encourage encourage avoiding, outdoor burning and whatnot. So that's specifically on Tuesday. Wednesday, it looks like there could be some concern as well. I don't think we'll see as gusty conditions, but we will have really dry air in place. So definitely probably discourage burning that day as well. So those are the main hazards associated with this cold and dry air mass that's coming in over the next couple days. So I'm going to pivot here to look at some plots, some expected precipitation this week. So you can see today, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are all very dry. And then by Friday, again, we could have some light rain Friday night into Saturday. But if you look at the totals, seeing anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch generally is the current forecast for rainfall totals. So generally expecting pretty much just light rain associated with that system later this weekend. Kind of already touched on this, but we're not expecting any flash flooding in the next 3 days, as dry. It's going to be very dry. There won't even be any rain. And then if we can look at the severe thunderstorm outlook, and I already mentioned this earlier in the presentation, but it looks like that system later this weekend right now doesn't have much instability associated with it. So, as of now, we're not expecting any thunderstorms with that system. And then just looking ahead, we can kind of look a little bit more in the medium to long range here. This is the 8 to 14 day temperature and precipitation outlooks from our friends at the Climate Prediction Center. We like to show these plots just to give a heads up of what potential conditions we could be seeing in that time range. So these are valid from March 20th through the 26th. On the left, we have the temperature outlook. On the right, the precipitation outlook. And it looks like we might be continuing this trend of some cooler weather. The Climate Prediction Center gives generally 33 to 50% chance of seeing below normal conditions during that time period, to March 20th to the 26th. And then also looks like we could be wetter than average as well. On the right panel here, they give a 40 to 60% chance of above normal precipitation. So something to watch as we go, head towards the later half of this month and head into April timeframe. So that's all I have for you. I'll just do a quick summary here, and then I can answer any questions you might have. Again, tonight we'll see some reinforcing cold and dry air start funneling in, and that'll set the stage for the next several days, where we're expecting sub-freezing temperatures for most of central, if not all of central North Carolina, but both tonight into Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, and then Thursday morning. So again, we have a freeze warning out tonight, a freeze watch for the next night, and we'll likely be issuing some other products as we approach Thursday as well, Thursday morning. So with that, remember again to try to protect sensitive vegetation. And another thing again is on Tuesday, we could have some increased fire weather concerns. And then lastly, I forgot to mention that again, we have some light rain expected the first half of the weekend before some drier and cooler air returns on Sunday. So with that, I can answer any questions if you have any. Thank you for listening.